Some TV, the pulse of the nation. Some TV, the pulse of the nation.
In today's digital age, staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success. Turabo Business School is committed to empowering the next generation of leaders with the skills they need to thrive. We present you our special computer training exclusively designed for SS3 and GSS3 graduates. Our comprehensive program covers a wide range of topics, including Microsoft Word, master the art of document creation and editing, unlock the power of data analysis and visualization, Microsoft Access, learn to manage and analyze database, Microsoft PowerPoint, create stunning presentations that captivate audiences, graphic design using CorelDRAW, unleash your creativity and design skills, Photoshop, enhance your image editing skills and create stunning visuals, programming using web design, build dynamic websites and web applications, database development, learn to design and manage databases, UI/UX design, create user-friendly and intuitive interfaces. At the Turabo, we've been creating world-class entrepreneurs and professionals.
Tinubu strengthened Nigerians' Caribbean ties with St. Lucia visit, OECS talk and education proposals. PDP crisis deepens as NEC governs amidst tension. Damagun faces resignation calls. APC schedules July 24th NEC meeting to appoint new national chairman after Gamduje's exit. On national news, Elon Musk slams Trump's Big Beautiful Bill as economically insane, warns of losses and soaring debts. On business news, Dangote refinery to absorb 1.7 trillion naira in logistic costs, deploys 4,000 CNG trucks for direct fuel delivery. On entertainment news, rapper M.I. Abaga regrets past support for APC, call it a misguided political decision. Sport news, Super Falcon defeats Ghana 3-1 in friendly Madugu. He urges movements ahead of WAFCON opener versus Tunisia. I am Bridget James with the news. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has arrived in St. Lucia on a state visit aimed at deepening diplomatic bilateral cooperation between Nigeria and the Caribbean nation. Upon his arrival, President Tinubu was received with full ceremonial honor by the Governor General of St. Lucia, Sir Cyril Errol Charles. At the historic Mount Fortune, a site of cultural and political significance in Castries, the president's arrival was marked by military salutes, traditional performances, and a formal inspections of a guard of honor. Following this, he engaged in closed-door bilateral talk with Prime Minister Philip J. Peria, where both leaders deliberated on enhancing cooperation in areas such as trade, tourism, cultural exchange, and the broader African-Caribbean partnership. President Tinubu's engagements form part of a broader diplomatic outreach to strengthen Nigeria's foreign relations and affirm its leadership in South-South cooperation, particularly with Caribbean nations that share historical and cultural ties with Africa.
President Bola Tinubu commenced his historic visit to St. Lucia on Sunday. First, a visit to the Government House. Governor General Cyril Iro Charles received the Nigerian leader at Mount Fortune. The Lucians are originally Africans long separated away from the black continent by distance, with some of their citizens having a place in the history of Nigeria. And now, the president of the most populous nation in the world is set to formalize the Nigerian-Lucia relations, rekindling the ancestral bonds and igniting a new era of diplomatic, cultural, and economic possibilities between the nations. The mission also took President Tinubu to the Prime Minister of the Eastern Caribbean nation, Philip Perry, and there approved of contact between the nations. The discussion also went on with modalities for the imminent formal relations being worked out.
The president was very particular that Nigeria and most of the Caribbean nations, not even St. Lucia alone, but all the Caribbean nations, we have similar culture, we have similar ambition, and we have similar problems. Which we strongly believe that if we can sit down, like we are going to do tomorrow, to see how we can begin to connect with each other, to improve on our relationship, to improve the economies, and see where we can both learn from each other. Because St. Lucia, most Caribbean islands are basically islands, so they face the same problems that we face in our coastal areas. So we are going to look at that. We are going to look at the area of health provision in both countries. We are looking at the issue of education.
President Tinubu, popular in Lucia for his long-standing commitment to the entrenchment of democracy, is scheduled to address the session of the Senate and the House of Assembly of St. Lucia this Monday. In Castries, St. Lucia, Musbah, Denwa.
While in St. Lucia, President Tinubu also held most of the organizations of Eastern Caribbean states. In his remark, he reaffirmed Nigerians' commitment to expanding collaborative efforts in sectors of mutual benefit, including investments, climate resilience, education, culture, health, and sustainable development. President Tinubu pointed to common values, colonial histories, and development ambition shared between Nigeria and OCES members as the foundation for deeper strategic partnership. He emphasized the need to harness each region's to foster cross-border investments, the technology transfer and joint venture that can create jobs and economic growth. He added that Nigeria, as Africa's most populous country, is keen to serve as a bridge between Africa and the Caribbean for diaspora empowerment, political solidarity, and global influence.
Development. It is in line with this orientation and to explore areas of cooperation and collaboration between the Eastern Caribbean states that I decided to undertake this state visit to St. Lucia. It is in this spirit that I wish to express Nigeria's readiness to deepen cooperation with the OECS in the areas of mutual interest, including trade, investment, health, culture, education, and climate resilience. Enhance the trade and investment between our regions hold great potential for shared prosperity. Nigeria's vast mutual resources and its position as the largest market in Africa presents significant opportunity for the OECS, both as a source of essential input and as a growing export destination. Together, we can leverage our respective strengths to attract investments, create jobs.
In line with these efforts, President Tinubu has proposed the institutionalizations of educational exchange programs between Nigeria and OECS member states, stressing the need for people-to-people contact and academic diplomacy. He suggested the development of maritime university partnership, which could enable knowledge sharing in specialized fields, foster cross-regional research, and enhance technical manpower on both sides of the Atlantic. The president stated that such initiative will deepen mutual understanding, promote innovations, and support sustainable growth across both regions.
That benefit both our peoples. In advancing our shared development goals, I strongly advocate for educational exchange programs between Nigeria and OECS. Maritime universities, such as partnerships, will build technical capacity, but also foster mutual understanding and long-term academic collaboration. Beyond maritime education, both regions should explore joint scientific research initiatives, particularly in addressing common health challenges. To give structure to these efforts, we should formalize agreements that clearly define cooperation in education and research. Equally important is collaboration in tackling urgent threats posed by climate change. By sharing research findings on the climate impact, adaptation strategies, and disaster risk management, including rise in the sea level and outbreak of hurricane, we can deepen our understanding and enhance collective resilience. Joint efforts in promoting sustainable agricultural practices and addressing issues such as flooding and drought will also contribute to food security and reduce climate vulnerability in both our regions. It is essential that we invest in cultural and human exchanges that build mutual understanding from the ground up among our peoples, from ordinary to the leadership. I encourage the integration of Nigeria and OECS cultural awareness of our shared heritage, values, and traditions among future generations. Beyond education, we must also encourage more frequent visits between our peoples, allowing them to experience firsthand the unique cultural attractions and the historic sites that define our identities. In a concrete step towards this goal, Nigeria is open to exploring a visa waiver arrangement for holders of diplomatic and official passports from OECS member states traveling to Nigeria.
A high-level Federation delegation has arrived in Medina, Saudi Arabia, to participate in the federal rite of Nigerian business titan and elder statesman Alhaji Aminu Dantata, who passed away at the age of 94 in Dubai. Renowned as a pillar of Nigerian economic advancements, Dantata was celebrated for his contributions as an industrialist, philanthropist, and family patriot. The funeral, originally scheduled earlier, has been postponed to Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Nigerian's Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, confirmed that the delay resulted from the late arrival of Dantata's remains in Medina. He explained that the Saudi Arabian government required specific procedures and documentation before a body can be brought in for funeral burial. And those processes are still being finalized between the authorities and the family.
Led by the Minister of Defense, Mohammed Abubakar, has the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and the Minister of State for Housing Development, Yusuf Attah. Also on the delegation are prominent Islamic clerics. The team is joined by members of the Nigerian Consulate General in Jeddah, led by Muazzam Ayaya, who had been making arrangements for this funeral. Alhaji Dantata died in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, on Saturday at the age of 94.
The People's Democratic Party has officially commenced its National Executive Committee meeting after a day marked by internal tensions, and behind the scenes, the national chairman, Ambassador Iliya Damagum, briefly addressed the press, stating that the meeting will focus on a single undisclosed agenda items. He cautioned journalists against publishing reports that could heighten confusion or further destabilize the party. Meanwhile, former PDP spokesperson Kola Olokbodiyan publicly criticized Damagum, blaming him for the party's escalating internal crisis and calling for his resignation as a step towards restoring unity and stability. Further developments are expected as the meeting unfolds.
It's only Damagum that can explain himself. He's the one that will come to the public and say, this is why I'm misleading the party. This is why I'm not managing the party well. This is why I'm creating confusion in the party. He's the only one that can come out and say what's responsible for that. But what I believe is that if you take responsibility, to hold an office, even as a pupils monitor in the classroom, you owe yourself the responsibility to act on the basis of what is fair, or what is equitable, and what is just. But unfortunately, for me, I am not surprised by whatever is happening. I have said it for more than 1 year, that as acting national chairman, Damagum should go and take his seat. Unless North Central bring a substantive chairman. And failing in that, PDP will run from one crisis to another. And as you can see, they have opened the floodgates of crisis for the party. But I must not leave here without raising this issue. Senator Sam Mayawu, whom Damagum says he wants to reinstate, is in court against the party. Yes. The matter has been adjourned to September 29, which means that he is aware that he is not the national secretary. So he's gone to court to go and enforce that. Court has not given judgment. So what will Damagum be predicating his decision, or the decision of his committee of friends, on? Because that is totally strange. It's unfortunate that people are turning upside down the provision of the rules that they subscribe to be a member or to be members of the People's Democratic Party. As we speak, the Damagum side has fewer members of the working committee. The Ambassador Taofeek Arakpaja's side has majority of members. And look, maybe I should give you a background to how we arrived, how we got here. It's really painful that respected people, gentlemen, perceived gentlemen, have now turned broke, have now turned rogue, and they now want to.
The All Progressive Congress has fixed July 24, 2025 for its highly anticipated National Executive Council meeting, where a new substantive national chairman will be nominated. This development follows the official resignations of Dr. Abdullahi Gamduje, who has led the ruling party since August 2023. The announcement was made after an emergency section of the party's National Working Committee at the APC National Headquarters in Abuja. Deputy National Secretary Festus Flanter disclosed that formal notification of the NEC meeting has been submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission in the interim. The Deputy National Chairman, North, Ali Bukar Dalori, has taken over as acting chairman in his acceptance remark. Dalori pledged to run an inclusive and transparent leadership, urging unity and renewed commitment among members to consolidate APC's influence and deliver on good governance promises. In Kano State, a violent armed robbery incident has ended totally for the perpetrators. The suspect, identified as Musa Nuhu, reportedly broke into a residence in Darai, Baba Ungwar Jakada, armed with a knife. During an altercation, 2 female occupants were attacked and injured. However, a male occupant managed to confront the intruders, resulting in a fair struggle that left both men wounded. SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, spokesperson for the Kano State Police Command, confirmed that the suspect was subdued and later died in the hospital due to injuries sustained during the scuffle. The police have assured residents that investigations are ongoing and the security patrol in the area have been intensified. In Bauchi State, Governor Bala Muhammad has announced a relief package of 200 million to assist victims of a devastating windstorm in that local government area. The storm wreaked havoc across communities such as Dur, Wandi, Bagel Abundad, and Das Town, destroying homes, public infrastructure, and farmlands. The relief, comprising 100 million naira in cash and building materials worth another 100 million naira, will be disbursed to affected households. During a visit to the affected areas, the governor also directed state emergency services to fast-track humanitarian support and reconstruction. He further recommended the establishment of a shell belt to mitigate future environmental disaster of long-term climate adaptation strategies. Still from Bauchi, Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad has approved the 41-member committee to assess requests for the creation of a new emirate, thus the chiefdom and district across the state. The committee comprises traditional civil society members, and academics. That would review submission based on equity, inclusiveness, and financial viability. Alhaji Hamza Koshe will chair the panel with Justice Habibu Idris as deputy. The committee is scheduled for inauguration on July 3rd at the Government House in Bauchi. The Actors Guild of Nigeria has launched its national secretariat in Gadua District, Abuja, a move held as a significant step towards institutionalizing the Guild's administrative function. The event also featured the unveiling of the proposed AGN Galleria, a multi-purpose creative hub, alongside a digital membership application aimed at streamlining access to member services. AGN President Dr. Emeka Rolas, in his remark, reiterated the Guild's resolve to improve the welfare of actors, enhance industry regulation, and boost opportunities for young creatives. The Minister of Arts, Culture, and the Creative Economy, represented by senior officials, praised the development as a game changer for Nigeria's creative economy, pledging federal support in transforming Abuja into a vibrant entertainment hub. A staggering 80% of candidates scheduled for the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board MOPUP Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination have failed to show up, according to JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede. Of the 98,232 registered candidates, only about 12,000 appeared, with some CBT centers recording fewer than 20 candidates. He attributed the mass absenteeism to fear of arrest over alleged involvement in impersonation and examination malpractice. Professor Oloyede also disclosed that over 1,700 candidates falsely claimed to be albinos in an attempt to secure special privileges. He warned that results from the mop-up exam may be delayed pending verifications and reiterated that schools, parents, and collaborators in fraud will be prosecuted. In an intensified push to confront rising insecurity in Taraba State, the Nigerian Army has concluded a 2-week training program designed to improve operational synergy among security agencies. Over 80% personnel drawn from the police, civil defense, and other forces participated in the intensive exercise. The training focused on ensuring rapid response and counter-terror operations, reflecting the state's increasing focus on a collaborative security strategy. Sun TV correspondent Lilian Yakubu reports that the training was both physical and theoretical, with simulations of real-life conflict scenarios. Commanders say it marks a shift from reactive to proactive security management in the state. Here's the complete report from Lilian Yakubu.
In a significant step to enhance security in Taraba State, the Nigerian Army has successfully concluded a 2-week intensive training program involving over 80 operatives drawn from various security agencies. The exercise, organized by the 6th Brigade in Jalingo, focused on building operational capacity and fostering interagency collaboration. Representing Governor Agbu Kefras at the closing ceremony, the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Gibbon Timothy Katabs, reaffirmed the administration's strong commitment to supporting security initiatives and emphasized the importance of collective responsibilities in addressing security challenges.
It is with immense pride and deep sense of responsibility that I stand here today to address you at this closing ceremony of the 6th Brigade Training of Security Agencies 2025. This event marks not only the culmination of 2 weeks of hard work and dedication, but also a reaffirmation of our commitment to ensuring the safety and security of our beloved Taraba State and its citizens. Today, as we gather to celebrate the achievement of our security personnel, we must reflect on the significance of this training program. The skills that we have acquired are not merely technical competencies. They are essential tools that will enable you to carry out your duties with greater efficiency, confidence, and effectiveness.
Commander of the 6th Brigade, Brigadier General Kingsley Chideberem Owa, commended the discipline and optimism displayed by participants. He describes the training as a strategic investment in the security architecture of Taraba, one that equipped personnel to better serve their communities.
It is with great honor and profound sense of responsibility that I stand before you once again today on this closing ceremony of 6th Brigade Training of Security Agencies 2025. Today marks a significant milestone in our collective efforts to enhance the skills and capabilities of our security personnel, ensuring they are better equipped to protect and serve our communities.
Lilian Yakubu reporting for Sun TV.
The House of Representatives has released its midterm report, highlighting that it has processed 962 bills since the start of the 10th National Assembly. According to House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas, 120 of these bills have passed second reading, 120 are at the committee stage, and 16 have been signed into law, while 400 have completed first reading. In addition, the House has handled over 500 motions and adopted 130 resolutions, many of which are now driving policy reforms and institutional investigations. Speaker Abbas says the report demonstrates the legislature's growing responsiveness to public needs and its resolve to use preliminary instruments to promote good governance, fiscal transparency, and social justice. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria says it has completed repairs work on the Murtala Muhammed International Airport Terminal in Lagos, restoring full operations after disruptions caused by heavy rains and floodings. The facility had suffered partial collapse and water logging, leading to flight delays and temporary diversion to the new terminal. FAN Managing Director Mrs. Olubunmi Kuku confirmed that operations have now fully resumed and passengers are being redirected back to terminal. With improved facilities and safety checks, she emphasized the FAN is working with the Ministry of Aviation to develop more climate-resilient infrastructure across Nigerian airports. Kuku said terminal redesign will include flood mitigation system and enhanced maintenance regimes to avoid reoccurrence. Still in the aviation sector, a fire outbreak has destroyed part of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency office located at Murtala Muhammed Airport. The incident, which occurred in the early hours of Sunday, was reportedly caused by an electrical fault. In a statement, NAMA said the fire was contained through the swift response of the Federal Airport Authority Fire Service, preventing damage to core air traffic control infrastructure. The agency confirmed that flight navigation remains unaffected and that operations continue seamlessly. A full investigation has been launched and safety protocols are being reviewed to forestall future incidents. The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure has signed a memorandum of understanding with Damidium, a US-based blockchain firm, to advance Nigeria's digital infrastructure and innovation ecosystem. The agreement seeks to enhance Nigeria's digital economy, develop local talents in emerging technologies, and expand research commercializations in line with the country's innovations policy. According to NASEMI Executive Vice Chairman Khalil Halilu, the partnership will support capacity building programs, pilot projects, and deployment of solutions in critical sectors such as agriculture, finance, and logistics. He stated that the initiative is aligned with the President's renewed hope agenda for technology-driven industrialization. The Federal Ministry of Works has announced the scheduled closure of parts of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos for ongoing maintenance and asphalt laying. In a notice released by the ministry commuter, they are advised that the Iyanwa Oworosoki Adeniyi Adeleke bound carriageway, it will be partially closed from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily until July 2nd. Officials said the temporary disruption is necessary to ensure safe and timely completion of the bridge, a rehabilitation project. The motorists have been urged to comply with traffic diversion, obey safety signs, and explore alternative routes. The government assured residents that efforts are being made to minimize inconvenience during the repairs window. In Delta State, at least 6 people have died and several others injured in a ghastly motor accident along the Uromi-Agbo road. The crash occurred when a tipper truck, reportedly experiencing brake failure, lost control and plugged into multiple vehicles and pedestrians near Boji-Owa Junction. Eyewitnesses said the truck was on high speed when the driver suddenly lost control. leading to a chaotic scene involving a tricycle, a bus, and a roadside traders. Emergency respondents from the Federal Road Safety Corps and State Ambulance Service evacuated the victims and cleared the scene. Authorities are investigating the incident and say the truck mechanical condition will be reviewed as part of a wider road safety audit. Mr. Adebowale Razak has assumed duty as the new Commissioner of Police in Ondo State, succeeding Mr. Wilfred Afolabi. Speaking during the handover at the State Command headquarters in Akure, Razak called for collaboration from security agencies and stakeholders to combat crime. He pledged to build on his predecessor's effort and enhance public safety. Afolabi, in his farewell remark, urged officers and the public to support the new CP, noting the importance of mutual trust and community partnership in effective policing. A lawyer, Joshua Jidola, has filed 2 separate suits at the Federal High Court in Abuja, seeking to nullify the act establishing the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. He urged that both acts violate Section 214 of the 1999 Constitution, which vests policing power solely in the Nigerian police force. Ijodole contends that the EFCC and NSCDC were unconstitutionally granted police powers and called for the courts to declare their establishments invalid. The suits are yet to be assigned to a judge. We will now head to a short commercial break. But there is much more still ahead, right here on Psalm TV. Stay with us.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service from anywhere in the city. We will pick you up right at your doorstep. Book a ride in seconds. Safe, fast and affordable. Visit www.supercab.com.ng or download the Supercab app today. Supercab, your ride your way.
Welcome back. Up next are the international business and entertainment news. On the international news, tech billionaire Elon Musk has renewed his criticism of U.S. President Donald Trump, denouncing the administration's Big Beautiful Bill as economically damaging and utterly insane. Musk, in a post on X, warned that the bill recently advanced in the Senate will hurt emerging industries, raise the national debt, ceiling by $5 trillion, and result in massive job losses. Once a member of Trump's cabinet, Musk has since become a vocal opponent of Trump, responding in a Fox News interview, called Musk a wonderful guy, suggesting the rifts may be due to disagreement over electric vehicles policies. Senate Democrats, meanwhile, continue to resist the bill by demanding it to be read in full. On business news, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced plans to absorb over 1,070 billion naira annually in logistic costs for direct fuel distributions across Nigeria. The company has invested 720 billion naira in acquiring 4,000 compressed natural gas powered trucks to deliver petrol diesel and aviation fuel directly to filling stations and industrial users from August 15th. The move is expected to save Nigerians over 1,700,000 naira each year to reduce pump prices, lower inflation, and support over 42 million micro, small, and medium enterprises. Dangote stated the initiative will also create over 15,000 jobs and curb fuel smuggling while boosting energy efficiency and economic growth. Entertainment news. Nigerian's rapper Jode Albage, popularly known as MI, has publicly expressed regret over his past support for the All Progressive Congress. Speaking on the Manism's podcast, he explained that he at once believed the party will bring positive change to Nigeria, but now feels disillusions. Reflecting on his political stance, MI said he has supported APC during a time of widespread dissatisfaction with the then ruling PDP, but acknowledged that even well-intentioned decisions can prove misguided. Despite his disappointment, he affirmed his commitment to creating opportunities through the creative sector, regardless of the country's political leadership. On sport news, Super Falcon head coach Justin Madugu has urged continued improvement despite the team 3-1 victory over Ghana's Black Queens in a friendly match in Casablanca Gold from Chiwendu Ihezuo, Asisat Oshola, and Rashidat Ajibade to seal the win. Madugu highlighted the match as a valuable opportunity to build team cohesion ahead of their WAFCON opener, reflecting on past successes, including Olympic and AFCON qualification. Madugu affirmed the team's readiness and commitment to refining weak areas before the tournament begins. Similarly, Nigerian Super Falcon wrapped up their preparations for the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations with a 3-1 victory over Ghana in a friendly match played in Casablanca, Morocco. Goals from Chiwendu and others. The scoring in the 34th minute with a deflected shot, while Oshola doubled the lead from the penalty, the sport before halftime. Ajibade added the third early in the second half. Ghana's Alice Kushi pulled one back with a late penalty, but Nigeria held firm. The Falcon begins their WAFCON campaign against Tunisia on July 5th. And that brings us to the end of this edition of News at 9 p.m. on Som TV. But before we go, here is a final recap of the top stories making headlines today. President Tinubu continues his diplomatic outreach, strengthening Nigeria's Caribbean relations through his visit to St. Lucia, struck talk with OECS leaders, and proposals for education and maritime collaboration. On the political front, the PDP's leadership crisis intensifies as the party holds its NEC meeting amid internal tensions, with growing calls for acting chairman Damagun to step down. Meanwhile, the APC has fixed July 24th for the NEC meeting to appoint a new national chairman following resignation. In the international news, Elon Musk has criticized Donald Trump's proposed Big Beautiful Bill, labeling it economically reckless and warning of potential job losses and surging debts. In business, the Dangote refinery is set to incur 1.7 trillion naira in logistics expenses as it rolls out 4,000 CNG trucks for nationwide fuel delivery. In entertainment, rapper MI Abaga has expressed regret over his previous support for the APC, describing it as politically misjudged decisions. And in sports, the Super Falcons secured a 3-1 victory over Ghana in a friendly match, though coach Madugu is calling for improvement ahead of their WAFCON opener against Tunisia. Stay with us for more exciting lines of programs and updates. I'm Bridget James. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.
Are you stuck in Jalingo late at night? Need a safe and reliable ride fast? Introducing Supercab, Jalingo's trusted ride-hailing service.